Always be silent. In 9 Situations Lesson. Stoic. In today's fast-paced world, silence has become a rarity. We live in an era where noise dominates, constant chatter, endless notifications, and an overwhelming flood of opinions. But what if the moments we choose not to speak carry just as much weight, if not more, than the times we do? How often do we truly pause and consider the power of our silence? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in self-discipline, reason, and emotional strength, offers profound insights into the art of restraint. It teaches us not only when to speak, but more importantly, when to remain silent. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, famously remarked, "It is better to stumble with the feet than with the tongue." This timeless wisdom raises a crucial question. How often have we regretted words spoken in haste, driven by anger or impulse? But Stoicism is not merely about avoiding mistakes. It challenges us to use silence as a deliberate tool for personal growth, inner peace, and resilience. Picture yourself in a heated argument, on the verge of saying something you'll later regret. Now, imagine choosing silence instead, calm, measured, and intentional. That moment of restraint is not weakness, it is control. Silence, when used wisely, is not passive, but incredibly powerful. It can diffuse conflicts, shield us from unnecessary harm, and grant us deeper understanding of both ourselves and others. Yet, knowing when to embrace silence is an art in itself. There are moments in life where remaining silent is not just wise, it is transformative. As we explore these moments together, consider how practicing Stoic silence could reshape the way you navigate relationships, challenges, and even your own thoughts. Could a quiet pause speak louder than words in an argument? Could silence offer clarity in the face of confusion? Join the top Stoic on this journey as we uncover 9 crucial situations where silence is not just golden, it is life-changing. Let the wisdom of Stoicism guide you toward mastering the art of knowing when to speak and when to hold your tongue. Are you ready to unlock the profound strength hidden in silence? Let's begin. 1. When being criticized unfairly. The Stoic approach to strength and integrity. Criticism is an inevitable part of life. Sometimes it is constructive, offering valuable insights that help us grow. Other times, it is unfair, delivered with malice or misunderstanding. In these moments, our response defines our character. According to Stoic philosophy, facing unjust criticism is not a burden, but an opportunity to strengthen our resolve, practice self-discipline, and demonstrate true integrity. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered thinkers, once stated, "If you are troubled by anything external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it, and you have the power to change your judgment at any moment." This insight highlights a crucial truth. What truly hurts us about criticism is not the words themselves, but our perception of them. When we allow unfair criticism to shake us, we give it power over us. But if we shift our perspective, we reclaim control. Imagine leading a project at work. You have dedicated weeks to refining every detail, ensuring its success. But when presenting it, your boss harshly criticizes your efforts without justification. The natural reaction might be to defend yourself, to argue, to retaliate. However, a Stoic approach invites a different response, one of calm detachment and reflection. Instead of reacting emotionally, you analyze the feedback. Is there any truth within the critique? If so, you extract it and use it for improvement. If not, you discard it without letting it disturb your peace. By doing so, you not only maintain your inner balance, but also uphold your professional dignity. Epictetus, another great Stoic, advised, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In the face of unfair criticism, this principle becomes particularly powerful. Rather than engaging in fruitless arguments or trying to prove yourself through words, let your actions and composure speak for themselves. A well-thought-out, measured response, or sometimes no response at all, demonstrates far greater strength than defensiveness ever could. Silence, in these instances, is not passive. It is a strategy, a choice, a statement. By refusing to be provoked, you exercise mastery over yourself and the situation. Instead of escalating conflict, you transform it into an opportunity to demonstrate wisdom and restraint. But how do we develop this ability? The first step is to pause. When faced with unfair criticism, resist the impulse to react immediately. Give yourself a moment to assess the situation with clarity. Ask yourself, is this criticism valid in any way? If it is, embrace it as a lesson. If it is not, recognize that it says more about the critic than about you. Marcus Aurelius offered further guidance. If anyone can refute me, show me I am making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I will gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. This mindset allows us to view criticism objectively, without ego, and to grow from it where possible. Even in the most unjust critiques, there may be a grain of truth. Instead of dismissing criticism outright, consider whether any part of it can contribute to your self-improvement. A Stoic does not take offense at words. They analyze, learn, and adapt. At the same time, a Stoic does not let unfounded negativity take root in their mind. Epictetus taught, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." This wisdom reminds us that silence can be more powerful than words. Instead of responding with anger or justification, let your actions speak for themselves. A calm and measured response, or even no response at all, often has a profound effect on the critic as well. It demonstrates self-control and wisdom, diffusing hostility rather than fueling it. People expect defensiveness. They do not expect composed silence. This quiet confidence often disarms critics and shifts the energy of the conversation. Marcus Aurelius further reinforced this by saying, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of seeking validation or attempting to counter unfair attacks, focus on being the best version of yourself. Keep working toward your goals, refining your character, and letting your excellence speak louder than words ever could. In today's world where boasting, outrage, and self-promotion often drown out humility and wisdom, Stoicism reminds us to embrace silence. When faced with unfair criticism, do not let your emotions control your reaction. Instead, take a moment to reflect. Separate the criticism from your self-worth. Look for any valuable insight hidden within it. Discard the rest and respond with composure and dignity. Unfair criticism will always exist. However, by applying Stoic principles, we transform these moments from sources of frustration into opportunities for growth and strength. Next time you find yourself unfairly criticized, remember, you control your response. Choose to be unshaken. Choose to be wise. Choose silence when necessary as a tool of resilience and power. 2. Stoic silence in the midst of boasts. Picture yourself at a social gathering or networking event. A colleague is boasting excessively about their recent promotion, luxurious vacations, or expensive possessions. The temptation to counter their words with your own achievements is strong. You want to remind them, and perhaps yourself, that you too have accomplishments worth acknowledging. However, Stoicism teaches a different path. the power of restraint. Choosing silence in such moments is not an act of submission, it is an act of wisdom. By remaining composed and refraining from competing in the exchange of boasts, you conserve your energy for more meaningful conversations. More importantly, your silence speaks volumes. It signals confidence, self-assurance, and a deep sense of inner worth that does not rely on external validation. True strength is not found in the need to impress others, but in the ability to stand firm in your own knowledge of your value. Stoic wisdom reminds us that silence is not passivity, it is a strategic response. Seneca once said, "He who does not wish to be outdone in kindness should not repay one favor with another, but with many." Similarly, instead of responding to hollow boasting with words, we should answer with the quiet grace of our actions and the quality of our character. A life lived well is its own testament, far louder than any spoken claim. How often do you find yourself instinctively responding to someone's self-congratulatory story with one of your own? What if, instead, you chose to listen attentively, acknowledging their success with a nod or a smile, while keeping your focus on your own journey? When we detach from the need to measure our worth against others, we step into a life driven by personal fulfillment rather than comparison. Embracing Stoic silence amidst boasting fosters an environment of genuine peace and success, free from the exhausting cycle of competition. It allows us to cultivate true happiness based on self-awareness rather than external praise. The next time you find yourself in a room filled with boastful voices, consider the power of quiet confidence. What impact might this shift have on your relationships, your mindset, and your overall sense of fulfillment? Reflect on these ideas and apply them in your daily life. Can embracing silence help you build stronger, more authentic relationships? How might choosing restraint in moments of boasting lead to deeper self-contentment? Let us strive to create a world where success is measured not by the volume of our words, but by the depth of our character. 3. When dealing with anger, anger can feel like a raging storm, powerful, overwhelming, and capable of sweeping away reason and composure. In moments of frustration, our instincts push us toward immediate reaction, often in ways we later regret. However, Stoic philosophy offers a refuge, a moment of silence that allows us to regain control and respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic thinker, once advised, "Keep silent for the most part, and speak only when you must." Imagine a situation at work where a colleague's mistake forces you to spend hours correcting their error. Your initial reaction might be to lash out, venting your frustration without restraint. But what if, instead, you chose silence? By pausing before speaking, you grant yourself the space to assess the situation objectively. This moment of restraint can prevent unnecessary conflict, encourage constructive solutions, and ultimately lead to a more thoughtful resolution. Marcus Aurelius reinforces this idea, reminding us that how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it. More often than not, the damage caused by an angry outburst far outweighs the initial frustration. Consider historical figures like Nelson Mandela, who, despite enduring years of imprisonment, chose forgiveness over resentment. His decision not to act in anger reshaped a nation and inspired millions, illustrating the immense power of emotional discipline. Practicing silence when angry does not mean suppressing emotions. Rather, it means responding in a way that aligns with your highest self. By mastering this discipline, you cultivate inner peace, strengthen relationships, and improve your overall well-being. Silence becomes your sanctuary, a space where reason triumphs over impulse. Practical Stoic strategies for managing anger. Identify the root cause. Analyze your triggers. Is it a particular person, environment, or situation that consistently provokes you? Practice self-reflection. Examine why these triggers elicit such strong reactions. Often, our assumptions play a significant role in how we process events. Embrace acceptance. Recognize that you cannot control external events, only your response to them. Cultivate mindfulness. Stay present instead of dwelling on past grievances or future anxieties. Use deep breathing. When anger rises, engage in deep breathing exercises to calm both your mind and body. Pause. Before reacting. Before responding in anger, take a moment to consider the potential consequences. Shift perspective. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view to cultivate empathy. Reframe your thoughts. Ask yourself how a Stoic philosopher would interpret the situation. Would they see it as trivial or significant? Focus on solutions. Instead of fixating on the problem, direct your energy toward constructive resolutions. Strengthen emotional resilience. Remind yourself that you have the power to choose your reaction. Patience and self-control are signs of strength, not weakness. Detach emotionally. Separate your feelings from the event itself. Step back and view it with objectivity rather than personal bias. Channel anger. Productively. Redirect frustration into productive activities, such as exercise, writing, or creative expression. Use anger as a learning tool. Treat anger as an opportunity to gain insight into your emotions and refine your future responses. Communicate effectively. Express your concerns in a calm, assertive manner without resorting to hostility or aggression. Managing anger effectively is crucial for maintaining both personal well-being and healthy relationships. By understanding its roots, practicing mindfulness, shifting perspectives, and directing energy positively, we transform anger from a destructive force into a catalyst for growth. Through the wisdom of Stoicism, we can cultivate inner peace and lead a life guided by clarity, strength, and resilience. 4. Silence. Amidst unfounded rumors. Imagine a gentle breeze stirring dry leaves, scattering them unpredictably, a vivid metaphor for the way unfounded rumors drift through communities, spreading misinformation and chaos. In the midst of this whirlwind of hearsay, Stoic philosophy offers us a beacon of clarity and restraint, the power of silence. This isn't a withdrawal from reality, but a deliberate, measured response designed to protect one's integrity and peace of mind. Consider the story of a teacher in a quaint, close-knit town. Accused without merit of misconduct, she became the target of vicious gossip that rippled through every corner of her community. Rather than launching into a defensive barrage or attempting to refute each baseless claim, she chose the path of quiet dignity. By refraining from reacting impulsively, she allowed the storm of rumors to subside on its own. As days turned into weeks and the initial fervor of the scandal slowly faded, her unwavering commitment to truth and integrity stood out. Ultimately, the lack of any corroborating evidence transformed her silence into the most compelling testimony of her innocence. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, "You hold power over your thoughts, not over external events." In the heat of controversy, when every word seems poised to ignite further conflict, her silence was not a sign of surrender, but a strategic decision rooted in wisdom. It exemplified the Stoic belief that what matters most is not the noise of unverified accusations, but the quality of our responses to them. In refusing to engage with the negativity, she conserved her energy and maintained control over her inner world. Moreover, Epictetus offered a counterintuitive strategy. by suggesting that when others cast slanderous words, one might even consider responding with unexpected kindness, or, in some cases, not responding at all. This approach not only disarms the aggressor, but also signals a deep-seated trust in the eventual triumph of truth. By not feeding the rumor mill, the teacher demonstrated that her self-worth and reputation were impervious to the transient, often destructive power of gossip. In our own lives, adopting such a measured silence can be transformative. Instead of joining the cacophony of speculations, pausing to reflect allows us to assess the true nature of the situation. When we hold back our immediate responses, we protect our character and set an example of calm strength. Ultimately, choosing silence in the face of false rumors isn't about evading confrontation. It's about embracing a higher standard of conduct that leads to lasting peace, respect, and success. 5. How to deal with loss. Loss is a universal experience, one that leaves a gaping void filled with sorrow, confusion, and silence. Yet, within the quiet aftermath of grief, Stoic philosophy offers a transformative path. This approach teaches us to accept pain as part of life's grand tapestry, weaving together love and loss, joy and suffering into a coherent whole. When faced with loss, the Stoic mindset invites us to view this period not as an end, but as a pivotal moment in an ongoing journey toward inner strength and understanding. Reflect on the poignant words of C.S. Lewis, who, in his book A Grief Observed, confessed, "The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before." His acknowledgement of the interplay between joy and sorrow captures a profound Stoic truth. Every loss carries within it the seeds of a deeper, more resilient self. Lewis's words echo the ancient wisdom of Stoic thinkers, who recognized that our experiences, no matter how painful, are part of a larger natural flow. Just as the seasons change, bringing both winter and spring, our lives cycle through periods of abundance and absence. The Stoic approach begins with acceptance. It is vital to acknowledge your grief without judgment, allowing yourself to feel sorrow as a natural response to loss. Instead of trying to suppress these emotions, permit yourself to cry, to grieve, and to explore the depths of your pain. Journaling your thoughts or engaging in reflective meditation can be powerful ways to process these feelings. By putting pen to paper or simply sitting in silence, you create a space to understand your inner turmoil and begin to reframe your perspective. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on what we can control: our reactions, our mindset, and our inner world, rather than lamenting what we cannot change. The loss of a loved one, a job, or a cherished opportunity is, by its very nature, beyond our control. However, how we choose to respond to that loss is entirely within our power. This principle, central to Stoic thought, encourages us to let go of the past and direct our energy toward the present moment. It is in this present that we can begin to rebuild our lives and find solace. Consider the advice of Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher who once mused, "The day we worry will be our last is actually the birthday of eternity." In other words, every moment is imbued with the potential for renewal. Viewing loss through this lens transforms it from an insurmountable barrier into a turning point, a moment to reflect, learn, and grow. Every painful experience, when embraced with a calm mind, becomes an opportunity to deepen our understanding of life's fragility and beauty. Moreover, the process of dealing with loss is not a solitary journey. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and reaching out for support can be a critical part of healing. Whether it's talking with family, engaging with friends, or joining a support group, sharing your grief helps alleviate the isolation that often accompanies loss. The Stoics valued community and mutual support, understanding that our shared experiences can foster resilience and collective growth. In times of deep sorrow, allow the empathy and understanding of others to help you navigate your pain. Another practical strategy is to cultivate gratitude, even amid mourning. It may seem counterintuitive to be thankful when overwhelmed by loss, yet gratitude has the remarkable power to shift focus from what is missing to what remains. Begin each day by listing the things you still cherish: memories of joy, the presence of supportive friends, or even small moments of beauty that punctuate your day. This practice does not diminish your grief, but creates a counterbalance, reminding you that while loss has altered your world, it has not stripped it of all meaning. In the journey of healing, it is also essential to reframe loss as a catalyst for personal transformation. Each setback, each sorrowful moment, carries with it an opportunity to emerge stronger and more empathetic. As you navigate the silence that follows loss, ask yourself what lessons this period of grief might be offering. Perhaps it is teaching you about the impermanence of life, the value of cherishing relationships, or the strength that comes from enduring hardship. In this way, loss becomes not a mark of failure, but a stepping stone toward a richer, more compassionate existence. Embracing loss with a Stoic mindset requires patience and self-compassion. It involves acknowledging that the journey through grief is gradual and that healing is not a linear process. There will be days when the pain feels unbearable and moments when the silence seems deafening. During these times, remind yourself that it is perfectly natural to feel lost and that each small step forward is a victory in itself. Trust that, with time, the raw edges of your grief will soften and you will begin to see light once again. Ultimately, the Stoic response to loss is not about denying pain or pretending everything is fine. Rather, it is about accepting the reality of change and using that acceptance as a foundation for growth. The silence that follows loss is not an absence. It is a space filled with potential. In that quiet, you can gather the strength to move forward, to honor the past without being trapped by it, and to embrace a future that, while uncertain, holds the promise of renewal. As you reflect on your own experiences with loss, consider how these Stoic principles might guide you. How can you use moments of silence to reconnect with your inner self? In what ways can acceptance, gratitude, and community support transform your journey through grief? Remember, every end is also a beginning. By facing loss with courage and calm, you open the door to a deeper understanding of life, a life that continues to offer beauty, meaning, and hope, despite the inevitable pain of saying goodbye. 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. Throughout history, there have been moments when the ignorance of others seemed as formidable as a storm, challenging our resolve and testing our patience. Yet, Stoic philosophy teaches us that our strength lies not in the ability to change others, but in mastering our own reactions. This lesson is brilliantly illustrated by the story of Galileo, a man whose groundbreaking ideas clashed with the entrenched geocentric views of his time. Imagine facing a world where every opinion is held as irrefutable truth, even when it contradicts evidence. Galileo, despite facing fierce opposition and even enduring house arrest, chose a path marked by quiet determination. Instead of engaging in fruitless debates, he often held his tongue, letting his discoveries speak for themselves. His silence was not born out of fear or weakness, but from a deep confidence in the enduring power of truth. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely observed, You have power over your mind, not over external events. This insight reminds us that while we cannot control the ignorance of others, we can control how we choose to respond. Navigating ignorance requires us to pick our battles wisely. It's easy to become entangled in futile arguments when confronted by those who are unwavering in their misconceptions. However, adopting a Stoic mindset means recognizing that every reaction consumes valuable energy better spent on pursuits that nurture our inner growth and well-being. By responding with calm and measured grace, we demonstrate not only our own strength, but also a commitment to higher ideals. In our own lives, we often encounter individuals whose misplaced certainty mirrors the stubborn ignorance of the past. In these situations, consider the power of patience and the virtue of silence. Rather than being drawn into heated exchanges, choose to remain composed. This graceful response does more than diffuse tension. It upholds the dignity of truth. Just as Galileo's unyielding dedication eventually reshaped the way we understand the universe, your quiet resilience can pave the way for greater respect and long-term success. Reflect on this. When faced with the clamor of misguided opinions, how might you harness Stoic principles to maintain your composure? Embracing silence as a tool not only protects your peace of mind, but also elevates your interactions, transforming potentially negative encounters into opportunities for growth and understanding. Let Galileo's legacy inspire you to navigate ignorance with the quiet power of Stoic grace, knowing that true strength lies in controlling your own mind. 7. How to deal with rumors. From time immemorial, rumors have swept through communities like unexpected tempests, leaving destruction in their wake while obscuring the truth beneath layers of conjecture. The journey to navigate these turbulent waters can be seen as a profound test of character, one that Stoic philosophy addresses with both practicality and grace. Let us explore this path, drawing on timeless wisdom and real-life examples to understand how silence and steadfastness can transform the chaos of unfounded stories into opportunities for inner growth and clarity. In the annals of history, there have been numerous instances where an individual's integrity was challenged by the relentless spread of gossip. Consider the case of a community leader, renowned for her unwavering commitment to protecting the environment. Her efforts to safeguard natural resources were met with unexpected resistance. Falsehoods about her personal gain began circulating among the townsfolk, growing louder and more distorted with each retelling. Instead of engaging in a public defense or attempting to quash every malicious whisper, she chose a different course, a course of quiet perseverance. Her decision was not born out of cowardice, but rather from a deep understanding of the Stoic principle that our peace of mind depends on our reaction, not the external events themselves. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers and emperors, wisely counseled that the best revenge is to be unlike him who hurt you. By embracing silence and allowing her actions to speak, this leader demonstrated that true strength lies not in defending oneself through endless words, but in the quiet affirmation of one's own truth. In her case, as the rumors spread like wildfire, she remained focused on her work. Over time, as the embers of scandal cooled and no substantive evidence emerged to support the accusations, her steadfast dedication to her cause shone through. The community eventually came to realize that her silence was not an admission of guilt, but rather an embodiment of the Stoic ideal, to remain composed and continue on the righteous path despite adversity. This approach underscores a crucial lesson. Rumors, no matter how persistent, hold little sway over those who are anchored in truth. The Stoics teach us that when faced with the barrage of unfounded gossip, it is imperative to control our emotions. Quick reactive responses often serve only to amplify the spread of false narratives. Instead, the Stoic way encourages a thoughtful pause, a deliberate moment to assess the situation calmly and gather the facts. In today's world, where information travels at lightning speed and social media can turn whispers into roars, this practice is more relevant than ever. Begin by keeping your emotions in check. When a rumor surfaces, allow yourself a moment to breathe deeply and reflect. Ask yourself, what is the source of this story? Can it be substantiated? Often, the details that feed a rumor are shrouded in uncertainty and exaggeration. By seeking reliable information and verifying facts before reacting, you can dismantle the power of the rumor at its very root. This method of measured inquiry is a cornerstone of Stoic practice, a disciplined response that focuses on clarity rather than chaos. Moreover, the Stoic perspective advises us to remember that we cannot control the opinions or actions of others. Epictetus, another luminary of Stoic thought, reminds us that the only realm we truly command is our own mind. This insight frees us from the burden of trying to alter the perceptions of others. Instead, our energy should be directed toward maintaining our own moral compass and personal integrity. As you navigate the storm of gossip, let your actions consistently reflect your core values. Over time, these unwavering actions will silence the falsehoods, for truth is a light that ultimately dispels darkness. Imagine, for instance, a modern professional whose reputation becomes entangled in unfounded rumors at work. Rather than scrambling to address every accusation, the wise individual takes a step back. They listen carefully to the underlying sentiments behind the rumors, without allowing them to disturb their inner calm. By focusing on delivering quality work and upholding their principles, they gradually win over skeptics. Colleagues begin to see that while rumors may pass like fleeting clouds, the sun of genuine competence and integrity remains ever present. In practical terms, dealing with rumors through Stoic silence means more than just not speaking it, involves actively choosing how you respond. Instead of launching into defensive arguments or attempting to confront every whisper with explanations, take a more reflective stance. Pause, assess, and then decide on the best course of action that aligns with your long-term vision for your character. Ask yourself, is this response going to enhance your reputation, or will it only add fuel to the fire? Often, the most powerful response is to continue living according to your principles, allowing time and consistent behavior to reveal the truth. This approach not only safeguards your self-respect, but also sets a compelling example for others. In a world where many feel compelled to react impulsively, your calm and thoughtful demeanor can inspire those around you to think more deeply before acting. The ripple effect of such measured responses can gradually transform the culture of an organization or community, fostering an environment where truth and integrity are valued above transient, often sensational, gossip. Furthermore, it is essential to cultivate a sense of self-acceptance and resilience. Recognize that the opinions of others are transient and that your worth is determined by your own actions and values. As you practice Stoic silence, you develop a profound inner strength that renders the fleeting noise of rumors inconsequential. This inner fortitude not only helps you weather the storm of false narratives, but also empowers you to focus on what truly matters: your personal growth and the pursuit of your goals. In conclusion, learning to deal with rumors with Stoic grace is a journey that begins with self-awareness and culminates in an unshakable commitment to truth. By choosing silence over needless confrontation, verifying facts before reacting, and consistently aligning your actions with your values, you create a fortress of integrity that no rumor can breach. The wisdom of ancient Stoics, echoed in the lives of figures like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, continues to offer a timeless roadmap for handling the challenges of our modern world. Let this philosophy guide you whenever you find yourself at the center of unsubstantiated whispers. Embrace the power of quiet resilience, knowing that over time, your unwavering commitment to honesty and excellence will shine brighter than any falsehood. In the silence that follows the storm of rumors, you will find not only peace, but also the enduring strength to shape your destiny with integrity and grace. 8. When confronted with injustice. In a world where fairness often seems elusive, the challenge of confronting injustice has been a recurring theme throughout history. From ancient philosophers to modern-day leaders, the struggle to maintain honor and peace of mind amid unfair treatment has inspired profound reflections and enduring wisdom. Stoic philosophy, in particular, provides a timeless guide for handling such challenges with a blend of rationality, emotional resilience, and unwavering integrity. The roots of Stoic thought stretch back to ancient Greece, where thinkers like Epictetus and Seneca emphasized that true strength lies in our ability to choose how we react to the world around us. They taught that while external events may be beyond our control, our inner responses can always be managed with calm deliberation. This principle is crucial when dealing with injustice, as it reminds us that our dignity and moral integrity are preserved not by the absence of adversity, but by our ability to rise above it. Consider the example of Nelson Mandela, a modern icon whose life epitomized the Stoic approach to injustice. Enduring decades of imprisonment under an oppressive regime, Mandela could have easily succumbed to bitterness and revenge. Instead, he chose a path of reconciliation, healing, and unity. His steadfast commitment to peace in the face of systemic racism and personal suffering demonstrated that one's greatest power is not in retaliating against wrongdoing, but in cultivating an inner sanctuary of strength and compassion. Mandela's legacy teaches us that injustice, no matter how deep or pervasive, can be met with grace and the transformative power of forgiveness. Reflecting on Mandela's life, we learn that responding to injustice does not require matching aggression with aggression. Rather, it calls for a measured, thoughtful response that preserves our moral center. Marcus Aurelius, another revered Stoic, advised in his Meditations that the best way to respond to harm is not to mirror it, but to remain true to our own virtues. By refusing to stoop to the level of those who perpetrate injustice, we maintain our integrity and set a powerful example for others to follow. The Stoic path encourages us to first examine the situation with a clear and unbiased mind. When confronted with an unjust act, it is vital to pause and reflect rather than immediately reacting with anger or bitterness. Take a moment to breathe deeply, to allow the initial surge of emotion to subside, and to consider the most constructive course of action. This reflective pause is not a sign of weakness, but a deliberate act of self-mastery. It enables us to respond in a way that is aligned with our highest principles, rather than being driven by fleeting passions. Once we have taken this moment of introspection, it becomes possible to assess the injustice with a level head. Ask yourself, what is the root of this unfairness? Is it born of misunderstanding, malice, or systemic flaws? By analyzing the underlying causes, we can begin to understand the broader context and identify potential avenues for constructive action. This approach not only helps to alleviate the immediate emotional pain, but also fosters a more strategic and long-term response. In a sense, the process of addressing injustice becomes an opportunity for personal growth and transformation. An essential element of dealing with injustice is the practice of emotional regulation. Stoicism teaches that our power lies in our ability to govern our own minds. Rather than allowing anger and resentment to cloud our judgment, we must learn to channel these emotions into positive action. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness meditation, and reflective journaling can be invaluable tools in this process. These practices help us to maintain a state of inner calm, even when the external world seems chaotic. By anchoring ourselves in the present moment, we create a space where rational thought and compassionate decision-making can flourish. Moreover, confronting injustice often requires us to engage in open and honest communication. While silence can be a powerful response, there are times when it is necessary to speak up in order to advocate for change. When you do decide to voice your concerns, let your words be guided by a spirit of fairness and a genuine desire for resolution. Engage in dialogue with those involved and strive to understand their perspectives, even as you stand firm in your own convictions. This balanced approach can pave the way for meaningful reforms and foster a culture of mutual respect and understanding. It is also important to remember that not every battle needs to be fought immediately. There are moments when choosing a quiet, thoughtful stance is more effective than engaging in a heated confrontation. By prioritizing our mental and emotional well-being, we can conserve our strength for the struggles that truly matter. This is not to suggest that injustice should be ignored or tolerated. Rather, it is a reminder that our responses should be as deliberate and measured as the actions we take. A well-timed pause can sometimes speak louder than words, allowing the truth of our character to shine through without the need for endless debate. Another key insight from Stoicism is the importance of accepting what we cannot change. In the face of systemic injustice or deeply entrenched prejudices, our ability to alter the external environment may be limited. However, we can always choose to change our own perspective and behavior. This inner transformation is a powerful form of resistance. By focusing on our own growth and remaining steadfast in our principles, we not only uphold our personal honor, but also contribute to a gradual collective shift towards greater fairness and justice in society. In practical terms, navigating injustice with Stoic grace involves several actionable steps. First, cultivate a habit of self-reflection to understand your own emotional responses and identify the most effective ways to manage them. Next, commit to ongoing learning. Immerse yourself in the teachings of Stoic philosophers and other wisdom traditions that emphasize resilience, empathy, and ethical action. Build a supportive network of like-minded individuals who share your commitment to justice and can offer encouragement during challenging times. Finally, practice patience and perseverance, recognizing that meaningful change often unfolds gradually and requires sustained effort over time. As you move forward in your life, let the lessons of Stoicism be a steady guide when confronted with injustice. Embrace the truth that while you cannot control the actions of others, you have complete authority over your own responses. In every encounter with unfairness, remember the examples of great figures like Mandela and Marcus Aurelius, whose lives were defined not by the wrongs they suffered, but by the nobility of their reactions. Through the quiet strength of deliberate action, you have the power to transform adversity into an opportunity for profound personal and social growth. In the end, Confronting injustice is not about seeking vengeance or perpetuating a cycle of negativity. It is about reclaiming your inner power, standing up for what is right, and demonstrating through your actions that integrity, compassion, and wisdom are far more potent weapons than anger or retribution. By embodying these values, you contribute to a more just and peaceful world, one where honor and inner peace prevail, even in the face of relentless injustice. 9. How to handle insults with Stoic wisdom. Throughout history, insults have been wielded like weapons, designed to provoke an immediate reaction and unsettle our inner balance. Yet, as Epicurus once advised, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. This timeless maxim reminds us that the source of insult is not external. It originates from within our own perceptions. When faced with harsh words, the true test of character lies in choosing silence and understanding over hasty retorts. Imagine encountering a situation where a colleague or stranger hurls derogatory remarks. The natural impulse might be to lash out, but Stoic wisdom teaches a different approach. Respond not with anger, but with deliberate calmness. By withholding a reactive comment, you reclaim control over your mind and break the cycle of conflict. In doing so, you transform a moment of potential hostility into an opportunity for self-mastery and reflection. Mahatma Gandhi's life stands as a vivid example of this principle. In his struggle for Indian independence, Gandhi faced countless insults and acts of aggression. Instead of returning fire with fury, he chose a path of nonviolent resistance, a method deeply rooted in the belief that silence can disarm even the most venomous words. His pacifist stance not only diffused immediate tension, but also won him widespread respect and support. Gandhi's example teaches us that remaining quiet in the face of provocation often makes the aggressor's words lose their power, while simultaneously elevating your own moral authority. Marcus Aurelius, another towering figure in Stoic thought, captured a similar idea when he reflected on the destructive nature of anger. He observed that the aftermath of anger often leaves far more damage than the original insult ever could. This insight compels us to pause and consider the long-term consequences of our responses. When we choose to remain composed, we demonstrate not only restraint, but also a higher level of leadership, a calm assurance that resonates with those around us. By embracing silence as a tool, you effectively neutralize the negative energy of insults. Instead of fueling a cycle of bitterness, you open the door to reasoned dialogue and personal growth. In each instance where you choose thoughtful quiet over a reactive outburst, you reinforce the idea that your self-worth is not defined by others' opinions. Ultimately, this approach paves the way for a more respectful and fulfilling way of interacting with the world, a method where true strength is measured by the calm dignity with which you face life's challenges. Conclusion. From the subtle art of silencing idle chatter to the profound resilience required in the face of loss, Stoic wisdom has illuminated a pathway toward inner peace and deeper understanding. Marcus Aurelius once advised, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This timeless counsel reminds us that genuine strength lies not in endless debate, but in embodying our highest ideals through thoughtful silence. As we journey through life's challenges, whether navigating the noise of trivial disputes or enduring the profound sorrow of personal loss, Stoic principles guide us to choose our responses with care. By embracing moments of quiet reflection, we reclaim our power, allowing us to act with integrity and grace. Silence, as taught by the Stoics, is not a void, but but a deliberate, potent force that nurtures self-awareness, compassion, and personal growth. Let this philosophy inspire you to speak less and listen more, to find calm amidst chaos, and to use silence as a tool for healing and transformation. Incorporate these Stoic practices into your daily life, and you may discover that the quiet moments, those pauses filled with mindful reflection, hold the key to a more peaceful, fulfilling existence. If you found these insights profound and beneficial, please click like and share your journey toward a life enriched by the power of thoughtful silence. Silence is a powerful tool, as Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics have shown us. Knowing when to stay silent can protect our peace, strengthen our character, and help us navigate life with wisdom. By mastering this principle, we cultivate inner resilience and a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. If you found this lesson valuable, subscribe to The Top Stoic for more insights into Stoicism, philosophy, and self-improvement. Join us on this journey toward wisdom and a more fulfilling life. Don't forget to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments.